How we doing, guys? All right? Welcome back. I missed you. I did. Well, let's get started. It was a really good time for a bye. I thought we did some really good things. Got our team a litll bit better. We had an opportunity to self-scout ourselves, actually have our defense break us down, offense break defense down, work on some things that obviously have hurt us, but more importantly, maybe how a team would look at us. And this particular ball game, with them having a week off, I'm sure they've had an opportunity to do the same thing and work on a lot of different things that may have given us problems. As you take a look at them, offensively. Obviously, bringing in a coordinator that does an outstanding job and has a lot of NFL experience. You can see that in how they shift, how they motion, how they take advantage of matchups. I think they've done an outstanding job of that throughout the season, playing with a quarterback, his decisions, getting it out of his hands the way he does. And then, they're running backs, obviously, it's horrible what happened to one of the best players in college football. You hate to see that. And I know he'll come back 100% when he's able to. But you know what? They've got a couple other pretty good guys, Michelle and Marshall, who are both, highly recruited guys that have stepped in. And obviously, the thing that kind of stands out as you watch it is their overall team speed. I got two wideouts that can really, really go, and they use their tight ends in a lot of different ways. Big physical guys, and fun to watch, and they do a heck of a job. As we kind of look at them from a defensive standpoint, obviously, nationally ranked top 20 team defensively, do a great job on third downs. In particular, these guys have. Some guys on their staff that we know real well. Jeremy Pruitt's not only a great coach, but a good friend. Kevin Shear's on that staff that was with us as well at Alabama. Their strength coach was with us there. Rob Sale, who I think is one of the finest offensive line coaches, good young coach that they hired as their O-line coach. Guys that know us well. So obviously us breaking down our tendencies was huge. We had to spend the week changing all our signals because they know them all. Probably invented some of them in Rob's case for us offensively. We worked hand in hand for a lot of years there. And so there's some things that we needed to do that they know. And but that's what makes the chess match so much fun. And in special teams, they've done a really good job in big games with fakes. So we've had to be prepared going back a lot of years, just seeing all the different things they've done. And should be a great environment. I'm really excited to be part of something that, carries as much history, nostalgia. That's what college football's all about. Didn't matter what part of the country you grew up in. You knew the Florida-Georgia game. It was going to be a national televised game. And you kind of set your calendar by it, and that's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to coming over that Hart Bridge and seeing what this thing looks like, and having an opportunity to play it in Jacksonville. The city embraces it. Looking forward to it, and I'm sure that they've got them juiced up, which they should, and probably feel pretty good about where they're at based on the things we did in the last ball game. They're going to try to take advantage of it, and should be a good time. Looking forward to it. Injury-wise, okay, this was a great week for us. Joey Ivy should be back for us. Feel good about that. Ciante will be back finally. Got cleared from the breakage of that hand, so he'll be in a light little splint, but should be able to have the full use of it. Case Harrison will be back, which will help us again on special teams. Probably another big one for us there, Marcel Harris, who's been hampered by, of course, no one has a low ankle sprain anymore. It's a high ankle sprain. No one has a. I never remember it playing where you had an ankle sprain and they categorized high or low or in between or mid. It's amazing. I mean, we have guys with shoulder injuries that now all of a sudden come up with high ankle sprains. So maybe it was a high ankle that run into a shoulder. I don't know. But low shoulder, yeah, maybe that's what it is. You know, sometimes I wonder if we don't just take that operation game and let them go and try to, I don't know. The red nose goes off. Yeah, yeah. Unbelievable. But we should get Dorsey back as well. Harkless. So it looks good. You know, we had a pretty good week off as far as getting those guys back. So, you know, the interesting thing will be, you know, to see how we pay attention to the details of everything that we do this week. You know, little things, understanding the dress of the day, understanding, you know, what the tape needs are this week, understanding, you know, from the trainers that we put ice in the water, you know. I'm talking about the whole organization and the importance that everybody that's involved adheres to the principles and values of what we expect, and then we'll see how we play on Saturday. So, questions? Pat?
Jim, I'm just wondering if you've talked to anybody maybe during the off week, former coaches or players, about the Florida-Georgia game. And
yeah, you know, it's been good. Is obviously we've got some guys on our staff that have played in the game and have been involved as well, and even some from the other side. So the good part is all have been able to let us know exactly what it is, what it means, but more so kind of what to expect. And I know this, they will play at a fevered, high-pitched, no-holes-barred attitude that they'll come into the game with. And but at the end of the day, we got to make sure we take care of us and play with detail and execution.
And secondly, because of what this game could mean in the division race, is there almost, you guys have done a good job of staying in the moment. Is that something you're trying to stress this week?
You know, I thought we got a little out of sorts in our last game, I'll be honest with you. I thought the first half we pressed, guys doing uncharacteristic things. It wasn't anything to do with their effort, but they were trying to do more than what they had to do, if that makes sense, pressing. You know, that isn't how we're going to win. We're going to win by doing our job, and we're going to win together. And I thought we got out of sorts at times, you know, and yet I thought we bounced back decently. So, you know, it's exciting. I mean, this is a lot of fun. I mean, you know, we've put ourselves in a position to where, you know, what we do is relevant. And that's kind of a neat thing. And but it doesn't mean anything if we don't take care of what we need to do today to get ready for Saturday. So, you know, with this team, it's always it's fun to see, and there's great teachable moments that come out of everything we do, and not just from out on the football field. So that's what, you know, I look forward to seeing them today.
Gary from the back.
Jim, you've coached quite a few these kind of rivalry games. I mean, Auburn, Tennessee, Michigan versus Michigan State. And
Let's not forget
Colorado
the
versus
biggest one.
Eastern Washington versus.
Well, that Eastern Washington-Idaho game was big, but that Montana State-Montana game,
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, you want to go see a rivalry that a bunch of people that really don't like each other on a given day, and I don't know, there's 1 million people in the state, and there's 500 on one side and 500 on the other, and when you come home with on either side of that one, that one right there.
By my calculations, that great divide trophy kind of eluded you.
Yeah, it did. And believe me, in case you can't tell, that one stings. So,
Do you find yourself that week? I know the mantra is to prepare the same for every game, and that
well, no, it's a
obviously
little bit more.
it counts the same. When you found yourself
Yeah.
in those weeks, did you internally get more excited?
Yeah, and yet, here's the good thing, I don't play. Because if we did, we'd lose. So, but the preparation and the attention to detail doesn't matter what. You're going to lose if you don't handle those things properly. And that doesn't matter what you go into. That if you're going into a game of chutes and ladders, I mean, you got to prepare yourself to go be successful. And that's what we have to do as a team and an organization. I'm not talking just a team. I'm talking about the entire organization. Okay? And what bothers me sometimes is when little things that are important, that may seem insignificant in some ways, are left dangling. And we had an opportunity this week to get back to some things throughout the organization. And that was good. That we got to understand how we've kind of even gotten to where we are now, but really realize how far we have to go. And, rivalries are, I mean, that's what makes college football what it's all about. And I will tell you, obviously, this does bring things into my head because obviously I talked about one of them that still sticks in my craw a little bit. And yet you never get it back. No mulligans. And that's the thing that I know personally just kind of eats at me.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
How was the campus-wide search for a kicker, and did you find a guy?
It was great, actually. The interest that we did, plus we got some guys, and it's one of those deals. We'll have some more kicking today, actually, with about 3 guys that, passed through that. But you know what? Just an opportunity, and to see the people who were in there kicking, and, the chance and the opportunity you get, it was great, and we had great response, and I'm really thankful for such a response. So we got some more coming out. I'm probably more worried about now they have to actually put a uniform on as far as, which way the helmet goes and how to put thigh pads in and make sure it doesn't go wrong, Yeah, they do. It's part of the NCAA equipment code. And so that'll be interesting to see how they do with actually people around as we kind of move forward, too.
And then I know you and the other assistant coaches were on the road recruiting this past week. What was just the general reaction, and how is that change of pace from the normal week?
Well, I mean, it's part of the job that if we don't get out and evaluate and get the right gators, then that's one of the things. It's about when you get to recruiting. It's not only about discovering the great players, but also the ones that fit, and kind of seeing them live, being able to go play and practice. You're able to maybe look at some fatal flaws that tell you maybe not on this guy or yes on that guy, and our guys did a great job of hustling and getting around to a lot of places.
Hey, Jim.
Hey.
How big was this bye week, and what did you see from Trayon Harris in that?
Yeah, he did a good job, and so did a lot of guys. We have a team full of guys that needed to get better, not just Trayon. I mean, he's, like I said, there's some plays he wants back, but there's a whole bunch of plays a lot of guys want back. And it was an opportunity, again, for us to work on ourselves, really break down the tendency part, especially going into a game where knowing what great coaches we're going against, guys that know us, being able to work on some different packages and really make them game ready, where you feel good at as a coach, putting it out there. And bye weeks are fun. from a standpoint of the work you can get done. Bye weeks are great on Saturdays when you leave the office where you can go catch the noon game and not worry about 3rd and 6. That was fun. And watching your friends, and seeing how they're doing, because it's really the first time you ever get a chance to actually sit down and enjoy a ball game as a fan. So that was kind of a neat deal.
You didn't mention Harden. Is he making progress? Do you think he's going to be better than he was last?
Well, you don't know. I mean, it's up to him. He's been hurt. We'll see, but we need to get another kicker there, obviously, and we'll, like I said, we'll find out which one can do it. We'll have to put him in a cage. It'd be interesting to see what kind of masks they wear. I'm looking forward to that part too.
Do you anticipate just settling on one of the three?
No,
Or do you think maybe two?
Well, it could be one guy's a kickoff guy, one guy's a short field goal guy, one guy's a long field guy. I can't tell you other than the guys that we're going to bring back and work out. I'm worried about them getting out of the locker room with the proper equipment on. I am.
Yeah, but two of those guys have been on the team to some degree, right?
Well, I don't know. I never
they-
saw them. So
Walk-ons or something? Oh.
your guess is as good as mine. I'm looking for the guy who can make it and the guy that can kick it out of the end zone. So, yeah, the yellow things up there. There's these they have flags sometimes. In fact, that was an attention to detail drove me nuts. We got a new facility out here, and we didn't have flags on the outdoor goalposts. Up on top to see the wind direction. No, I'm talking about out on the practice fields. No, it's like, how long are we going to do this? Well, we got them inside in case the air conditioning, blows. It's unbelievable.
Are they up there now?
I know this. They're going to be, and somebody heard about it. So, all right.
Jim, Treon made his first start in Knoxville. You've already said that you praised him for how he handled the atmosphere in Baton Rouge, and although he wasn't called upon to throw a whole lot in last year's Georgia game, he made no mistakes and never looked overwhelmed. Is this something that is difficult to teach? Do kids have this in them to be able to perform when the bright lights come out?
Yeah, I think you look just at a historical background of Treon himself. I mean, he won a few ball games in high school. That was a pretty darn successful program he came from. And, I mean, the stage is not too big for him at all. That's the least of the worries. And, I'm just glad he's our quarterback and looking forward to seeing how he progresses this week.
Judging from the injury update,
Where's your coffee?
they killed happy hour.
Just killing you. You can go, there's this one just kind of, just gas, grocery, whatever, just a no-name that's got really good trucker coffee. I mean, it's the way coffee should be.
Diesel fuel.
Yeah, it's awesome. I want to try that one. It's an undescript, just a styrofoam cup. It's just
Wednesday, I'll have an Uncrustable and a coffee.
there you go. All right.
Injury-wise, it seems like the team got healthy. What can a bye week do just mentally, kind of getting a week off?
Well, the big thing for us, too, was, catching up academically on some things. And as I told them, it's a chance to let your mind relax. And what do I mean by that? Get the clutter out. Go be a normal person. And, we'll see how it was. And we'll see what kind of detail we come back with as we enter today. And, this is fun. So.
And it really does seem to bother you that you ended up on the wrong side of that rivalry. Is that
Yeah, it
something
does.
you'll share with the team this week?
No, because they don't care about me. I mean, this is about them. He asked about. I mean, these are important. I mean, rivalries, man. That's what this is all about. I mean, when we played at Sentinel, you just don't lose to Hellgate. I mean, it's just there's certain things that you grow up, and that's what part of athletics is so fun about, And anyway,
Jim, can you assess the play of Martez Ivy to date?
Yeah,
and
boy,
is he
he's
a
done
is he a left
he's-
tackle or left guard, or where's he playing, or is he both?
he
or what?
can play whatever he wants, and I'm sure glad he's a Gator, because that guy is a big-time ball player. And but here's what I like most about him. Coach, what can I do to help this football team? Now, let's talk about giving of yourself for the benefit of others. It's not saying, I've got to be a tackle. It's saying, put me in, Coach, wherever you want me, because I'm going to help this team get better. And that's what I love about him. Good. Really good. As expected. Now you're going to hold me to what I said. I can't remember what I said. So what did I say? Go ahead. Yeah. Well, that's not good enough. I mean, it's obvious. We got to get better. We haven't created explosive runs. And look, you guys are trying, but obviously it's not where we expect it to be or where it's going to be. We've got to get better there. And yet, we've got a lot of guys working real hard, and, we're doing a good job up front at times. We've got to be a little patient to the hole and speed through the hole. There's a lot of things we got to work on that way. But, to be, a dominant football team, you've got to be able to stop the run, and you've got to be able to run the football. And we haven't done that.
Jim, wanted to ask you about Treon Harris's pocket presence. Does his height in any way affect, one, how long he can stay in the pocket, and two, if he, what he can see downfield, and then two, is his ability to maybe, recognize pressure, improvise, and especially throw the ball away, is that something that might be a little bit undervalued from outsiders, I guess?
Well, I know this. The guy he's got great understanding of, how to go, and he can beat you with his feet. So what that does is create pass rush lane issues, for the other team that knows that they've got to make sure to control that, to not allow him to go use his feet as a check down. Okay. As far as, I thought his pocket presence was pretty good. Sometimes you need to shift and maybe find angles, to get the ball through when maybe you're a little vertically challenged, but there's been a lot of really good quarterbacks that are, shorter than I am, and they've figured it out. So we don't look at it as any kind of negative.
Okay. And then wanted to go back to recruiting. I think this past week was the first time you've been on the road since the end of the last cycle.
Yeah.
Just how different was it for you where the first time around you're meeting new people and trying to sell something, and now you kind of go out there and roll up your sleeve?
Well, I think, first of all, before you'd roll into a school and they'd really said, you got to show your ID, because they didn't know who the heck you were. And they thought I was kidding them when I said I was the head coach at Florida. Now there's a couple more people that know, which is a good thing for us. But the reception was outstanding, and we're making some inroads and still need to, obviously, in a lot of areas. But recruiting's your lifeline, and we've got to get better at it.
Coach, is it too early to talk about the division race right now? Is that something you kind of don't talk about with the players, or do you talk about it?
Well, I think, it's something that they, I guess, can read the standings. Have I personally just said, look, that takes care of itself if you do all the things that you need to do to be successful. So, I don't think there's a need to give all these what ifs and all that kind of stuff, only because, if you don't go do what you're supposed to do, then you're not going to be in the, be talking about it anyway. So that's where, like I said, I'm excited to get them together today and kind of see where they're at and see if we're willing to, throw our chips in the bucket and go all in.
You keep talking about how much fun this is and, in being in this position. They haven't been in this position in a long time. Do you get a sense that, first off, that they're excited about it like you are, and then they're ready to handle it?
I think I think last week was the first time I saw maybe some, not anxiety, but maybe just pressing a little bit. But a lot of guys in that environment have pressed over the years. And that's a pretty good football team, too. But the part of not being somewhere or whatever, the way we kind of approach things is we should be. So what's the big deal? And why are we? And it's because of what you've done leading up to each event. And I think breaking it down like that may help. But at the same time, we certainly didn't start this journey to be not in this position. So, I think that maybe on Wednesday, I'll have a better idea based on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, moving forward to see where we are and in our preparation. But, this is a darn good football team now. I mean, year in and year out, they recruit the best players in the country. And they've got great coaches. This is why you get into it. I mean, playing games like this. And, if you're not prepared and you're scared, then, this isn't probably the place for you, because this is the expectation of the University of Florida. And shoot, they've been playing this thing since like 1915 or some darn thing, right? I mean, it depends on which one. Is that right? Is there a record keeping?
They count the 1904 game that you guys swear is like inter squad or something. Nobody knows. They're all bad.
Well, that's too bad. But I mean, to me, that sounds like a clerical error by him.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. We blame him.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I'm going to go with them on that, knowing you. Okay. All right. Anything else, guys? Thank you very much.